Hello and welcome to this final session of our Dune game. We are back on back at the Capitol, and there are some things going down, which is what we're going to be dealing with today. We're going to be filling in Hayden's character today and giving them a chance to do some things before we get rolling too far into this. But my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and I am the game facilitator for this. And this session is part of the Gauntlet Gaming Calendar, which is an online gaming community / club that does a lot of online games. And people can sign up and play in those games. And you can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. I'm assuming you've heard my spiel multiple times. If you're here at the last session, I'm assuming you worked through the other ones, unless you're one of those people who picks up a book and reads the last chapter, which may not be as fulfilling in this context. So our group returned back to the capital of this newly settled planet. And last time they had to deal with the fact that there was the arrival of another household. This is House Pericos. They are arriving. Why they were coming was uncertain. What was going on was unsure, but all of the PCs, a number of the NPCs were moving to try and get things together. There was some spy stuff going on. There was an assassination attempt on one of our people. So there were some oddnesses going on in the background, some threads left out about that. Let me hit the high points of what occurred last time and sort of draw some conclusions, and then I'll let the other players sort of fill that in. It turned out that the guild, the Spacers Guild, had essentially like canceled a travel contract. Something was going on with that, weren't able to fill in all the details. Not clear that they gave a good answer to House Pericos as to why House Pericos was essentially being pushed off for a time. House Pericos arrived, essentially realizing that they were having to impose on the hospitality of your household, of Household Anthea, and played pretty nice in that regard. The group then kind of started to interact with the NPCs who were on scene. Met with the Duke, established some positive trade contacts there. Established, I think the two big things are that Serafina, after having been kind of called out on the floor by the Duke, actually in this last session did some work towards redeeming that and building some bridges between the two households. And in fact, we have some ticks on the clock related to that process. The other sort of big interaction that occurred was between Ismina, the second sword master of your house, and Mellet, the Pericos sword master, and that ended up in a friendly rivalry and a friendly duel that was won by Ismina to the chagrin of House Pericos, but that seems to have been taken pretty well. One of the other figures that showed up in this, that arrived as part of House Pericos, is Shajari Niseth, who is the mentat for Pericos. And from what the group was able to discover, is in fact the sister of the consort, Darius Niseth. And it was very clear that there's some tension there, like he avoided her significantly. To the group's credit, your what is, I'll get the name since he's not here for a second. Stahl was investigating some things and ended up interacting pretty heavily with the Mentat and had kind of a duel of words with them, and came out, I think, better in that duel than they did versus the Bene Gesserit. There were some other things that occurred, but those, I think, are some of the big ones. What am I leaving out, Brandon?
Well, the big thing you're leaving out is the cliffhanger that Ismina has just learned, and I'm happy to start the thing with that if you don't want to include it in the recap.
Well, yeah, I'll have you pass that. I want to see how you deliver that news in just a second. Danielle, was there anything else big that I left off in your remembrance of it?
No, and maybe you mentioned this before. One of the things that the Pericos swordmaster told Ismina was that there was a Zerat vessel with them when this guild stuff happened, and so that drew the connections for us that the reason why Pericos is in this situation right now is likely Zerat manipulation, and that they're probably maybe this is exactly what you were going to say, Brandon. Who they are allied with.
Yeah, the big thing is if something happens to the Pericos Duke while they are here, it will be very bad for your house. And the general fear right now is that is what Zerat is planning, because regardless of any justifications, the rest of House Pericos will not accept anything if their Duke dies here under mysterious circumstances. So before we get to Seraphina's revelation, what I want to ask is, so this has been about a day and a half of time that has passed since we last saw Hayden. What has Hayden been doing during this time? How have you been hoping to fill things in, or what task have you been undertaking?
Well, I think it's pretty straightforward because Pericos showing up out of nowhere, I'd be immediately going and hitting my contacts and seeing if I'm looking for the other shoe that's going to drop, keeping the ears and eyes open, seeing if I can find anything that could give a hint about what might be behind everything. But I think they might have already figured it out. So
well, there's lots of other pieces out there. So why don't we have you? Yes.
I also want to remind Hayden that you have 2 captured Zerat agents.
Oh yeah.
Right. In addition to your father, currently at assisting us with our inquiries, as the British used to say.
Yeah, that's right. We grabbed him off the street.
So Hayden may well have been involved with them too.
Okay. So yeah, then I guess the first step would be interrogating or getting one of them to turn on the other. I guess would be my first step.
Yeah, so we'll consider that as a trait that'll lower the difficulty of gathering information.
Okay.
What do you think is the appropriate combo of drive and skill for spending this time trying to dig more things out?
Okay, so I think for drive, it would probably be truth or duty. Well, it's probably just more duty, I think, than truth. And then could it be discipline, or would it be understand?
I like discipline because you are working to subvert others, working to use your skills to draw information out of people, not just these two, but your network here within the city. So yeah, let's have you roll. I don't think your focus applies.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be 14, and I'll just go with 2d20. I'm not gonna give you any threat right away.
Really?
No, not right away.
Maybe we'll get you to do what Ismina did last time and spend your
determination
on the determination right on the first roll, and then when you needed it later.
Yep, that's kind of how it usually goes. So let's see here, 2d20 and Oh God.
For example.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I will burn it and I burn it to reroll both dice.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So that's gone. And come on. All right, well, I still get the complication, but I get the 5. So it's a 1 success and a complication.
So I think this is you checking in around your networks and asking around and then talking to these people. And what you will get, sort of the piece of this that you'll get, is that these 2 Zerat folks were part of a smaller group. They were up in Sacknagan, where you guys had been, but they were recalled here. They were told to come here. They clearly don't know what forces Zerat has, but clearly there is a significant cell of Zerat people present here in the capital. They were called essentially to serve as more eyes and ears for what was going on. And it does seem to you like there's a bigger group, but you're not quite able to see the dimensions of it.
Okay. Ooh. I'll bring what little information that I find back to the group, but it's not looking good. Because if they called in basically reinforcements from Sacknagan, then they're going to be making a move in the capital pretty much soon.
So you've been doing this for most of the day, and you are coming back into the household as you usually do, under cover of darkness. You are a shadow moving through the household, and there's a bit where some of your instincts, as you're moving through some of the upper halls, like stop you, and just something feels off, and it takes you a second to realize that you can smell blood.
Great. I'll cautiously approach the area where the smell is emanating from.
You'll move. You realize you're kind of up in the area, some of the guest chambers and things like that. There ought to be another guard or 2 up here, but it's not like the ducal chambers or anything like that. And you will find yourself at one of these rooms, and you have a pass key. This is your territory. I think you will open this door, and you will see it is a finely appointed chamber, clearly for one of the guests, and you will see that there is a body.
No, I quickly move over to the body, keeping my wits about me to make sure that I'm not going to get jumped while I do it, and I'm going to get the identity as quickly as I can.
Whoever killed her, they're not present, and you're looking around, and it looks like an actual knife wound, not a hunter killer or anything like that. But you will look down and you will realize, and kind of take a sharp intake of breath, that this is the Paracos Mentat.
Oh, that's not good. Great.
Hugely valuable asset for the Paracos household.
Okay, I'm gonna immediately go to the door, close it, lock it from the inside with my pass key, and so that nobody can get in besides me. Okay. And then I'm going to. Do we have communication devices to?
Yes, and I think this is taking place, or just for purposes of like drama and timing everything up. This is taking place a few hours after Ismina's duel. Okay. While you, Seraphina, have been before you want to say anything to anybody, you've been confirming things with people. You've been checking to make sure that this information that you've gotten is legit. And you're perhaps at this point gotten that confirmation and going to call back just for purposes of this, Ismina, Hayden, and Stahl when Hayden comes over your private communication net.
We have a problem. Can somebody bring me one of the Zerat agents from holding and bring them to, can I give them the room number? And I'm going to go into immediate cover-up mode, which means I'm going to start covering the body and starting to eliminate whatever traces there are around the room.
What? Yeah, okay. What's your reaction to that, Ismina, Serafina?
I think that she's probably just
one of the agents.
Sorry, you were saying, Ismina?
Oh no, I was just saying she's probably like celebrating like positive, and then getting this message is like, oh no, okay, like just snaps her right back to focus and looks up at Serafina to see if she has, you know, a particular idea, like, yes, I want to go, or you should go, or something.
Let's both go. Serafina has been assisting the diplomat service, and takes out a tablet and goes through and says, "That's Shujari Naiseth's."
I don't think he said.
He didn't say. You give a number.
Okay, yeah. So you.
And I'm just looking up. I say to his,
yeah.
that's Shujari Naiseth's quarters. Hayden's instincts are good.
Oh,
we better. I'll have the marshals bring up one.
Should one of us alert the consort? And I think she looks down at her hand where she's put the ring on and looks over at Serafina's hand, and she's like, now I have a little artifact, but it's a lot like yours, which I was unaware that that you and the consort must have some kind of connection. She's like, now may not be the time to talk about this, but perhaps if there's some informing to do.
Yes, but I don't know what Hayden has in mind. You'd better go get the prisoner.
I'll go and bring them to Hayden.
And okay, so let's start with you, Ismina. It's been a couple of hours since the duel. You've had a chance to change. There was some celebration. People have gone their separate ways. You'll head down to the chambers down there. The guard service, it's a combination of some marshals and the guard persons, and they will look a little surprised to see you down. And Lord Corrigan.
Yes, I am here. I need to interrogate one of the Zerat agents, and I was wondering if I could take them with me and escort them to where we need to have this conversation.
One or both?
Just one.
Just one. And they'll say one of them seems to be in better shape than the other. So we'll gather them for you. That's the one they plan to cut loose. So we'll get them set.
Yes, that would be great.
And they will go and get it. And these are some of the people you know the guard service. You were working with them when you first landed. You were trying to get the security set for things around here before you kind of got resent to Seknagan. So they know you. And they will come and bring this person out to you in cuffs. Doesn't look like a particular threat to you. This is a spotter, a scout guy. He's not a fighter. And so you can take him and head on up
Okay.
through there. Let me ask you this. Are you trying to be quick and direct, or more circumspect and avoiding being seen?
With the Zara agent?
Yeah, like you're heading up to those
Um,
chambers. What's your approach?
I mean, I think her instinct is going to be that this is our territory and this person is with me in custody. So
Okay.
if anybody sees me with them, they know who they're messing with. So I think she just wants to get there quickly and
All right.
directly. I mean, not like parading through a crowd.
No, but speed, efficiency, quickly. No, you're not worried about being
But I'm not
being seen.
sneaking.
Yes,
Yeah.
perfect. Serafina, Ismina goes off to get that prisoner. What's your next step?
Well, Hayden hasn't told me what happened.
Yeah. Would Hayden have
But I'm going
mentioned,
to.
or could Ismina let him know, like on the communicator, like, I'm on my way up with the agent. I talked with Serafina about potentially getting the consort involved. If you think that's wise, please let her know.
Well, let's figure out timing wise.
Okay.
Let's get to Ismina's what Ismina does right now, and then we'll kind of come to that convo. So, sorry, Serafina. Yeah.
I'm going to assume the worst, and I'm basically going to put out to the Marshal Service. I want roused out the second shift. I want the guard on all the guests, on every prominent guest double.
All right. So we'll get everybody.
You know, this is an authorization to use, to get trustworthy soldiers if necessary, but I prefer they be marshals.
We'll rouse. They'll say, with all due respect, Lady Serafina, we are stretched incredibly thin right now. We'll grab who we can, but we have people trying to cover the ships and the landings and all that. I sent for any security services from the other locations on planet that we can get here, but we're still hours away from having our complement reinforced.
Of course. Do what you can for the short term, just for the next few hours.
Absolutely. And then do you head on up then, Serafina?
Yes, I'm going to head up. I need to know what's happening.
Then I think, like, shortly before you arrive there, I think is when Ismina comes over the comms and says that. Hayden, what's your reaction when Ismina says, should I get the consort?
I immediately say no. I can't say what's happened over the comms, but just get here quickly, please.
And I think Ismina, Serafina, the two of you will arrive at the same time. This Zerat agent looks at Serafina because Serafina was kind of present at the capture. And you'll knock on the door. Hayden, what do you think is the appropriate skill for evidence dispersal?
Okay. Well, first question is there a window to this room?
It is narrow to avoid people being able to break in. It's essentially kind of a gun slit thing.
Ooh, that works against us. Okay. Okay, so for getting rid of evidence, I want to leave at least just one sample of her blood that I'm going to have already placed on one of my throwaway knives.
Okay.
And that's just, I'm holding that behind my back. And for getting rid of the rest of the evidence would be, let's see here. Well, it's not justice. Well, this is definitely duty. What must be done must be done. I'm thinking it could probably. be discipline again. It fits in with my wheelhouse of what I do.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so that'd be a 14, and then it's under 6 is double successes, I think. If you agree that what must be done must be done.
No,
Works.
that what that statement does is it allows you to spend determination on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I got that mixed up with the focuses. Okay.
No.
So it's just gonna be 14, and I have bad luck so far. Let's go with 2d20 again, because threat at this point is just gonna blow this up completely. All right. Come on. All right. Well, I get 1 success.
Okay, so you have cleared like any signs of yourself, and you've been able to get the room set so you can kind of steer it towards the conclusion you want people to draw.
Okay.
There is that buzz at the door to indicate that your companions are here.
Okay, I move swiftly over to the door, stand to the side of it, and open it like while I'm kind of hidden for when the people come into the room.
Okay. I think both of you are familiar enough with Hayden's thing that you will recognize the protocol. But I think that in evidence is the body of the mentat in here.
Oh, I'm sorry. What I meant by getting rid of the evidence is actually just trying. Yeah. Oh, you already said that. I'm trying to set up the story that I want to tell. Okay.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you're set. Yeah, you're good. What's your reaction when you see the body of the mentat, Ismena?
She's shocked. She's like, because I just spent all that time trying to ensure that things are safe. So she's like, how did this happen? I knew that duel was selfish. Can't believe that. Did
Stop.
you?
It's not true, and it's not the time.
What evidence did you find, Hayden? Any traces to who this could be?
Well, first thing that Hidden does actually is he just slides past you, which closes the door, grabs the prisoner, throws him down on the ground or whatever, and then
And he says, "No.
turn
You
him
are
over.
not."
I turn him over, cover his mouth, and I stab him like 3 times.
Okay.
Sorry, but it has to be done.
No.
So let's
Serafina has a reaction, which is important.
okay. Let's do it. Serafina, are you going to react to try and interfere, or are you reacting after Hayden has done this?
No, Serafina sees it coming, and Serafina actually steps outside the room.
Okay.
I can't witness this.
All right. So Serafina steps out. You're out in the hall there. As
Wait, witness it? Okay, so wait, you step outside, you don't interfere
right.
to stop him?
I do not. Not that I could have interfered to stop him had I tried. But Serafina.
Ismena, let's check in with you.
Yeah, I would definitely go to throw out a hand to grab him from stabbing the Zerat agent.
Okay, I pause for a moment and I just I take a deep breath and let it out, and I say, I know it doesn't look good, but it's the only thing that we can do to make this not land squarely on our Duke's head. Anything else that we do is just going to be bad. This is bad already.
Yeah, I think she's looking around the room. Is there the talent that I took was constantly watching, which is attempting a skill test to detect danger or hidden enemies, and it reduces the difficulty. Could I see any other evidence in the room, like via detecting danger or something like that, that is already evidence that could point to Zerat? Because I think I'm like, they're the only ones that could have done this before we kill someone. Let's see if there's something already there.
Well, I don't think that talent is necessarily applicable, but I do think, like, trying to read the room, read the scene. Hayden's instinct was to clean the scene up, to get it set for the narrative that you want to spin. But let's have you essentially do a detective role.
Okay.
That feels like understand and maybe truth.
Let's see. It's not, I guess it's not duty. I guess that
I guess,
It's,
yeah, I guess we could read it that way. Yeah.
okay. I think she's just like, I appreciate your loyalty, Hayden. This may not be the only way. And then does a quick scan of the room. Understand, so that's looking for a 15 and below. Ooh. It's a success and a complication.
A success and a complication. So, what is the thing you want to know right now?
I want to know what evidence was left by whoever did this. Like, actually.
I think what you will look and realize is that to get in here would have required the kind of like key cards and things that you and your people have, like the senior people. So either it's somebody in the upper staff of your house, or it's somebody from House Paracos, or it's somebody that this person knew and let in.
Oh boy. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yes, I think, oh man. Yeah, Ismina's like, you may not be wrong as far as who did it, but this has definitely gotten a lot more complicated.
Speaking of complications, Seraphina, you stepped out into the hall and kind of standing there, and you will see one of the sort of the attaches from House Paracos coming this way. They have that look like they're coming to summon the Mentat.
Excuse me, I don't recognize you. I'm Seraphina Veer, the Vice Marshal.
Says, I am Attaché Ayers. I'm here to bring the Mentat to the Duke. Very much says the Mentat, doesn't say her
Yes.
name.
I'm afraid that
Oh no, she's never lied in her life. Sorry, I just realized that.
I'm afraid that that we have there's evidence in this room of a subtle assault on the house, and I cannot allow you to enter.
Where is the Mentat? He clearly assumes that what you said is something has happened here and you've moved the Mentat somewhere else. So he's asking where she is.
I can give you that information, but you'll have to come with me.
All right. I think I'm going to need you to kind of persuade this person.
Okay.
They're a little officious, but they also have a certain amount of disdain for the Mentat. So that kind of both of those kind of even out for you. What do you think is appropriate for persuading this person?
I think communication for certain.
Okay.
And I'm acting as a marshal, so duty.
Okay. Yeah, you feel yourself really pushing on that truth will set you free, on your truth, your thing. I don't think we've yet necessarily challenged that statement, but we are pushing close into that territory. But let's have you roll right now.
If social awareness comes in, that's 4 successes. Otherwise, it's 2.
I think it's 2, but I think that's more than good. I think he's like, yes, all right, take me where we need to go.
Okay. I will take him down to the marshal service. I will say to you, I am terribly sorry, but I need to put you under protective detention.
I'm sorry, what?
And I indicate to one of the marshals, this gentleman is to be treated with the utmost politeness and deference, but not to be allowed to leave nor to communicate with anyone else until I return and say so.
This is inexcusable. He winds up for the full, blowhard overreaction to this insult.
Right, he winds up, and I look him right in the eye, and I say, "Your mentat has been assassinated, and we need to do what we can to catch the perpetrators before they escape. I am sorry that you got caught up in this."
He is already starting to shout that he needs to go to see his Duke.
I understand that.
And your person will grab a hold of him.
Yes,
firmly but gently.
I told him the absolute truth. I said I would tell him, and I did.
And he is.
I didn't say he would be free to tell anybody else.
He is being moved into a cell right now. So while that is going on, Hayden, Ismina, what do you want to do?
I am desperately searching for some kind of talent or ability I have that I could go. I think she looks at Hayden and just says, I know that the easiest way might be to work in the shadows. House Anthier is founded on truth and honesty, and if we betray it now, how are we going to establish ourselves as a major house? And she just kind of looks at the body and is like, I think we have to go to the consort, and if he's involved in a bad way, then it's our duty to stop him.
Yeah. Truth and honesty, though, we sometimes have to shape that. It's just a fact of Imperial life. I know that the house stands for that, but even so, there's some things just cannot happen. And this is one of them. I mean, this is a serious breach. This is going to start a war. Or it could very easily start a war.
Then let's do what you were going to do, and let's simply get the culprit. Instead of creating one, let's just find the one.
Do you want us to find? I mean,
can you?
I'm teetering between I'm kind of paralyzed at this point, because all my instincts tell me that somebody has to be made a scapegoat, and if the consort or one of our people are involved, they're okay. I mean, I'll let you take the lead for this one.
Will you feel better if we murder this man and leave him here? And then
no, I absolutely do not want to kill this man. I really don't, but it's the only way that I see forward from this position.
because even if we do, we still have to find the person responsible. So I just think this
Well-
is going to, at best, buy us time. So if we can do it with one less murder, it seems like the preferable way.
Let me introduce, for purposes of this, to give you a little bit of a breather, Stahl will say, I will render him unconscious. I will secure the room. That should give you time to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. All right. I stand down. What's it called? I'm gonna wrap the blade that I have with the blood of the mentat on it in a piece of fabric or whatever, and just keep it just in case I need to use it.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a call from Serafina.
Okay. I think, yeah.
I'm going to be asking for an emergency audience with our Duke, and I need you to.
Do you want us to bring the suspect?
Put him in
Or-
the.
No, not the Zerat agent. Stahl is leaving him unconscious in the room and sealing that off. Oh,
Okay.
you mean who we suspect? Who? Just the Duke? I think is Mina's question. Like,
Do you want us to bring the consort into the meeting?
I'll let the Duke make that determination.
Okay. Be
So,
there.
no. Yes, and I get on the emergency channel to the marshal, and say, my lord, I need an emergency audience with her ladyship.
So let me ask Hayden and Ismina, while Serafina is speaking to the marshal and getting those arrangements made, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? What's your next step, Ismina?
I think I'm gonna. Zelfa's gonna freak out. I'm torn between either letting him know and talking to him, or seeing if I can roll to detect danger or hidden enemies as I'm walking through to see if I can sense anything suspicious or can pick up any leads while I'm like walking to taking the circuitous route to this meeting, maybe to buy the consort's quarters to see if he's there.
So you're heading to go and see Zelf.
Yes.
Serafina's making the arrangements for this meeting, and you're hoping maybe you'll spot something or something will reveal itself as you go through. Hayden, what are you doing?
Okay, so if I can't fit through that window, I know that most likely another person would not have been able to get into the room that way. So I'm going to immediately start checking on this floor, the weakest points of penetration, like if any other windows or anything entrances into the palace on this floor. I'm going to immediately start checking those because I know I'm not going to be able to search the whole palace or whatever in the time that we have. So I'm just going to at least check this floor to see if I can find any evidence of anybody infiltrating into the onto the grounds.
Okay, let's do this. Let's take 10 for our first break, and when we come back, we'll do some of that sort of setup investigation with the end goal of moving everybody to an audience with the Duke. Does that seem fair? Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So, Ismina, you have an ability that you mentioned, the constantly watching. Why don't you tell me what it is you think you're going to be rolling as you're moving through the building, heading across the grounds, heading towards the consort's chambers? not a conversation you particularly want to have, right?
I think she's feeling very torn right now because her duty has been everything that she's had to do, and she hasn't had to feel it be a conflict. But she's using her knowledge of these passageways and the movements of people to be looking for signs of suspicion, like from her own house, which is very unusual for her. So I think, and this is a break from duty, but I think it's because of justice. I feel like it's just the right thing to do. So I
Okay.
think that this is actually, it might be a battle in justice, because it's definitely.
Let's go with that. Yeah, let's try it.
All right.
Do you want to give me a threat and roll an extra d20?
Ooh. Oh, I still have my determination.
Yes, you do.
True. I am not using any of the things that let me reroll. Sure. I get an extra d20 if I give you a threat.
Yes, you do.
All right, let's do that.
3d20.
This feels important. Ooh, 2 successes. and a
2
failure?
successes. So I think that you are moving along and go down to maybe some of the, yes.
Sorry, part of the move is that it reduces the difficulty by 2 to
Oh,
a
I know.
minimum of 0.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You will find yourself moving along some of the lower corridors here, and it simply makes you stop. Because, of course, before you headed to Sacknagan, you were doing some work here on the grounds. And you left some orders, and you kind of got interrupted, and you headed up north to Sacknagan, and you've been gone for a while, and you come back. And there were some doors down here that were supposed to be sealed. And that should have been the starting point for an operation to go through. Remember I mentioned those under tunnels and get those cleared? You're like, I don't think anyone's done that. And that means that somebody has stepped in and interfered with those orders. And it means that we are exposed, and there could be a large Zerat force moving underneath the grounds right now.
Okay. Yes. Is there a way that I could seal off these or get
You got to get some teams together to do it, and this is not a small thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way that you could do this, like with any alacrity, with any speed, would be to call out a full alert and essentially declare you're under attack, kind of thing.
I'm wondering if the Perico Sword Master has lesser difficulties when I'm working with him on stuff now that we have a rapport.
Yeah. You want to head up to him?
I almost want to get both sword masters in the same room. I kind of want to get Zelf and him in the same room.
Then I think we see you taking off at a sprint right now.
Yeah. You're diverting. Have a fun conversation with the Duke, everybody.
Hayden, you are moving around here, essentially searching this area, trying to get a sense of who, what, where, when, like to read this scene, correct?
Yeah.
What do you think is the appropriate for you for reading these criminal intents?
Okay. Just to shake things up a bit, I think this would be more along the lines of truth, because I'm looking for, what actually happened, and understand.
Okay.
Okay, so that is 12. And why not? I'll give you a thread. Or do we have any momentum or no? Okay.
No, not yet, but I'll be glad to
So,
take that threat.
Yeah, go ahead. Fine. It's just gonna blow up. Let's see here. 20. Okay, 2 successes.
2 successes. So I think you will realize, like, you're kind of reading the scene. Okay, where were people at? Where are things at? And you like kind of gauging that, and you're like, given what I know, given what we've seen, I don't think this is anyone from House Pericos. Like, one of their people didn't do this. But you know, like, if it's one of our senior people who passed by here, and you'll be able to narrow it down to 3 people.
Okay.
One is the consort.
Mhm.
One is the house scholar, Nikos Zerat. And the last person who was up here was Arestio Roshan, the War Master.
Okay. Well, at least it narrows it down. How sure am I that it's one of those 3? Is this a
You are
solid
100% certain
sure?
that it is one of those 3 people that did this.
Okay. All right. So,
So I'm going to have you hang on that.
okay.
Serafina, you call up the marshal. You call to Thirsa Lowe. And Lowe says, I need a reason if I am to do this, especially on your word right this moment.
I have critical intelligence on the reason that the Pericos were detained and on a subsequent and we have been penetrated. We have, I think
Stop talking on the comms.
No, sorry.
Come
Yes.
come and meet with me right now.
That wasn't in person. I didn't. Then I
Yeah,
said. I said I have information from my intelligence network.
So Thirsa will come to meet with you, and you'll give her that statement, and she'll say, how certain are you?
Completely.
I will go and I will speak with the Duke. As you can imagine, she has many things that she is dealing with right at the moment, but I will endeavor to bring this to top authority and have this happen as soon as possible.
Sir, we have a high-level traitor in the house.
I understand that's what you indicated.
Yes. Yes, sir. I will await your call.
And you see her stop, and clearly she stops to run through some things in her mind, kind of goes over, and she says, go and find the heir and stay by them. because they're the most likely to be out and about in the midst of this excitement. We cannot have them lost. I will find you there.
Yes.
And she will head off, and you will start to make your way to find find Sek. So is Mina, let's see. I'd like a roll, because maybe we'll generate some momentum for the pool. You want to do this with speed, try and get these two together to have this conversation as quickly as possible without rolling a ton, without causing a ton of noise or other complications. But so definitely duty. To maybe move, communicate.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know if it would be discipline or battle because of what I was going like.
I'll give you discipline.
If it's,
Yeah, let's go with discipline.
I'm moving real fast. Okay. So let's see. Ooh, it's really loving the 1 success, 1 complication combo. I should save my determination. Can't give more threat. Oh, because threat's only to add to a pool.
That
right?
is correct. It's up to you.
That's that's a battle test, and that's if I want a conflict. I will save my determination.
So I think that you will find Zeph. I think that Zelf is there. He's drinking. He's drinking with the War Master. They clearly are a little bit in their cups right now. And Zelf's like, there's the lady of the hour. Let's see that ring. Let's see that ring.
I think she just sort of nods and obliges and shows it to him. And is like, yes, Zelf, yes, Sword Master, as much as I would love to join in, I've need of some other people of this hour. That hour is past, a new hour is upon us. I need to talk with you and possibly the other Sword Master.
And the War Master goes, what's going on?
There might be a threat about.
Zelf says, you're not given to vagueness, perhaps a little more specificity.
Oh man. Yeah, I think. Yeah. I mean, she usually trusts the War Master more than Zelf, so it would make sense. Yeah, very, very inconvenient, Hayden. So yeah, I think she would be like a potential Zerat invasion upon us. I have no time to elaborate except to mobilize forces.
Oh, but they will both stand up.
Of utmost importance.
This is the point at which you may now use your sense danger talent.
Yay. Fantastic. Yeah, do I roll understand and
Yeah,
duty
understand
for
feels
that?
good. Understand and maybe duty. Oh, he froze up there, Danielle.
Okay, or is it enough where like battle would snap in and that like am I gonna have to oh sorry. Is it battle like I'm gonna have to jump in to react to something?
I think you first need to detect that there's a threat. Does that seem fair?
Okay. Yeah, that works.
So understand and duty. That's step 14.
My internet is taking.
So
Ooh, only one success.
I think that you get out of the way as Zelf hits the floor. And you see the War Master turning the las gun towards you. Hayden,
Yeah.
you've got this information in hand, Hayden. What do you want to do?
Well, I was trying to probably immediately move towards where Serafina is because she was going to be getting the meeting with the Duke, and I don't really know what his Mina's up to at this particular second.
So let's bring Serafina and Hayden cross paths. There, Serafina, you've just had your meeting with the warden, and you see Hayden, appears out of the darkness by where you're at.
I'm 100% certain it's one of ours committed this act. It's either Darius,
Someone.
Nikos, or Orestia.
You're sure?
Absolutely, positively.
All right. Help me find the heir. I'm waiting to speak to the Duke.
So I'll immediately go to find the heir and secure them immediately.
Let's have you roll to track down the heir as things are starting to get heated here.
So I think that would probably be definitely duty and move.
Okay.
Because I want to move as fast as possible. Let's see, that's duty 6. Would my focus of precision help, or no, I don't think unobtrusive will help, but will precision help?
Yeah, let's do precision.
Okay, so it's 12s and 6s are double, and no momentum, so I'll just go with the 2d20. Come on, work for your roller. Oh, yeah, well, I got 2 successes.
2 successes. So Serafina, you're rushing along in the wake of Hayden. Hayden, you will come out of the building. There's still some revelry going on, and you kind of hit the tarmac, and you see some of the heir's entourage, young friends and guards and things like that, and they are talking and such. And I think as the two of you get out and you see the heir, you see Sek, you hear the whoom, and you can see the shield wall starting to go down.
We should probably have a code word in place for immediate dangers.
Okay, what is that code word?
Sparrow.
Okay, so you shout out Sparrow,
Sparrow, and I'm hoping the entourage will get out of the way.
Sek will kind of look, and he sees the shield wall go down. He sees you and Serafina, and he comes running over to where the two of you are at. What's going on?
We need to secure you immediately. And
I don't. I take a hold of him and say inside as we move.
Absolutely. The two of you start to move inside to kind of get, and so as you are moving in, you see a group of guards heading your way. Maybe they're coming to also secure the air. Serafina,
Are they?
you're an empath.
Yes.
What is it that twigs for you that these are not members of the household?
There is there's a the air like the Duke has there's an obeisance. There's an automatic there's a obeisance gesture that's always done, even as the tiniest little in passing thing. It's just sort of it's this automatic thing that everyone always does in the presence of the Duke or the heir.
And they're not
every single person around does it. I mean, you know, they might just be a sort of, you know, flick of the hands at the forehead kind of thing, but nothing more. And they're not doing it.
Yeah, they're not doing it. They're rushing forward like they're here to help, and they've got certainly hands on their weapons. But you're like immediately in. You can see them down the hallway.
Is there a side hall?
You want to try and get yourself and the air essentially down one of these side halls before they can intercept?
Yes, I say to Hayden, those aren't ours. And right, I'm trying to get the air out of the way.
Secure the air. I'll take care of them. Move.
So to get you out of that danger and to get him out, I think it's going to be a difficulty 2 move test. What is your
duty
drive for this?
Absolute duty. It must be.
Okay.
And I am going to spend my house determination to set one of the dice to be a 1.
Absolutely. So we've got 2 successes already, and go ahead and roll the other die.
And the other die's a miss. So
nice miss, but that's 2 successes. So we'll see you grab Sec and rush around the corner. Hayden, when Serafina takes off with them, these guards that are running forward clearly realize that their ruse was not sufficient. What do you do?
Okay, so I'm trying to picture the scene real quick.
So we're in a hall. You've just come in from the outside, from the tarmac. You're in this long hall, and there's a group of guards that are coming towards you. Serafina has rushed forward to the side branching hall with Sec in tow and run down there, even as they're approaching.
Okay, so what I'm going to try and do is I'm just going to run straight into the middle of them. I'm trying to get their attention on me killing them rather than going around me and getting to the air. So I'm going to try and make it as nasty as possible for them.
So that feels like battle.
Yeah.
And I think you can use your focus with this.
Yeah. Either one will probably work. I'll probably just be doing dirty fighting.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with power for this one because I want to make this memorable.
Perfect.
Okay, so that's 7. That's 12, and I think 5 and under is double.
Yes.
No more thread. Let's see here. God. Okay, so 1 success. Yay.
1 success. So I think you get up there into the middle of them and kind of bring them to a halt, even as you drop one of them. Like one of them goes down under your blade, but you're in the middle of them right now. Yeah. And they are drawing weapons in an attempt to bring you down. So I'm going to let you make your defense roll against that, which you can use move or battle. Either one will work. for this?
I'm gonna use move. And again, I think the precision will come into play as I'm trying to move precisely so that they don't murder me. And that's would it still be power? I guess strength is nothing without grace.
Sure,
It kind of fits with
sure.
the statement. So that's 13 with 6 and under double. Let's come on, roller, work for me once. Okay, there we go. At least 2 successes.
So 2 successes. I only got on, even though I spent a threat and got an extra die, I only got 1 success on that. So my threat goes down to 5. Your momentum goes up to 1 in this instance. So the group pool now has a 1 in it, and essentially you're in the middle of them. You're drawing their attention. They're trying. They know you're a named threat. They know you're a significant threat, so they are focusing their attention on trying to bring you down.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to do is.
Okay. Ismina. Zelf hits the floor. Right now, you don't know whether he's alive, dead, just wounded, playing possum, or what. But the War Master's turning the las gun. That's a particularly nasty weapon to have. Expensive, dangerous to have around, but also a weapon that is not particularly loud. What do you want to do?
She just kind of circles. She drops into a defensive position and is just kind of sighs like, you weren't just my leader, you were also a friend. And I think she just kind of shrugs and is like, if only I had been trained to like try and disarm the las gun.
Okay.
Like,
So let's have you
wrest it
make
out of her.
let's have you make a battle roll, defensive fighting.
Battle with duty.
Sure.
And spend a momentum to get an extra die or to assure that there will be some successes.
Sure. You can spend for the extra die. I've just spent a threat, so
Okay.
I will roll mine. So I've got 3 successes.
Wonderful. So if I spend the determination now, it's the extra die, but if I spend it after, it's for a reroll.
So what you can do is, if you spent the momentum to get yourself 3d20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you spent your determination now.
Oh, it's momentum I'm spending to get the 3.
Yeah. Now you could spend your determination to set one of those 3d20 at a 1 to automatically give you 2 successes.
Yes, that is what I want to do.
Okay. Then roll 2d20. Let's see what else you get.
So, because I spent the momentum, I'm rolling 3.
3, but one of them you've set to a 1, so you're just rolling 2d20.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Looks like 2.
So that's looks like a total of 4 successes then. There is that moment where she's following you and she says, sorry, they say, this is not a dueling ground. And they go to like pull the trigger and you're up on them. And you will knock that las gun away from them and essentially remove a very dangerous weapon from the combat field. But, you know, and now it's just you and the War Master, knife and knife. We'll come back to you in a second.
Does she put up a momentum?
The success, and then it's a difficulty 2 to knock an asset out. So I took the extra success to complete the asset being taken out of the picture.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
uh,
Figured it might be that.
so it is there. It is on the floor, mind you.
Are you saying anything on the comms?
That's a good question. Ismina, what are you saying on the comms?
Are these comms just for us, or are
I
these,
assume you.
like, everybody in the house can hear them?
I assume that you
We
have
have
it
a
set.
private channel.
Sorry. So I assume you have a private channel that's encrypted between the three of you. You can do another comm more broadly, but that's not encrypted.
Yeah, I think I would definitely yell into the encrypted channel, like, engaged with the War Master, don't trust anyone you haven't verified. Something like that.
Serafina,
Sorry.
perfect. Serafina, what are you doing? How do you want to deal with this situation? Where do you want to get sec to? How do you want to raise the alert? What do you want to do?
I raise the alert by going to the I flick the marshal's channel on my thing, and I say we have Sparrow. Alert Sparrow, multiple targets spotted. Full, go to full alert. We there and then I use another word that basically means treachery afoot.
Okay.
As far I want to get I'm not asking for the audience anymore. I'm going to take the air and I'm going to barge the ducal chambers.
Okay, so you are rushing through the building. So I think this is another move roll, because right now you've got more dangers out and afoot, and people who are here threatening now realize that they have to act quickly. So you're in that situation.
Yes. How
So
difficult
move
is this?
definitely, but what do you want for your drive on this?
It's duty.
Okay. Then roll with that 11.
Okay. One success.
One success. So I think that we will see you moving your way towards that the ducal area, and I think you're like trying to assess which way is going to be the fastest way, and you will see some people kind of coming out of some of these side passages, and they are less disguised and more openly. These are Zerat commandos here that have moved up, and essentially you and they have kind of both caught sight of one another. How do you want to approach this situation?
There's I know where a choke point is, and I'm going to.
Does that feel like something you're? I mean, to make it like more solid and serious, maybe you're using your passive scrutiny to have command of the situation.
Yes, I'm going to. Yes. So the question here is, right? How can I use my knowledge of the ground, which is superior to theirs, and I know where my assets are as well, to to blunt their attack. I basically want to lead them into a hard point or something like that.
You need to use fire or smoke or something to fill up some of, because you're in the lower chambers where the air ventilation is a little bit less steady. You need to do that to essentially create a barrier, at least to give you and your allies some time here.
Nowhere near the armory, and I don't carry smoke grenades. Does this building have fire suppression systems?
Let's say it does.
Okay.
Not great ones, but let's say it does.
I don't care. I'm hitting the sprinkler system.
Okay.
I'm going to just smash and hit the fire suppression systems. And so it's so water or halon or something like that is going to pump out into the main system.
This is a planet with a chemical facility and a penchant for that. So I think what we're getting is some not entirely great to breathe chemicals that are spraying down from various points. And that will into the area, giving you some cover. We'll give that as a trait when we do the follow-up on that. Hayden, what are you doing?
How many of them are left on me?
Just 4.
Just 4? Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna have to make them pay. Can I, while I'm fighting them, can I try and maneuver them or at all, or am I just fighting for my life?
So you can try and maneuver them. That is a roll to do that with a difficulty of 2, and then we can do your attack roll.
Okay, yeah, I think I'll just focus on staying alive then.
Okay, sure.
Let's see here. I do think it's still going to be more movement than battle for me, just because there's 4 of them on me.
Fair enough.
Precision. And let's see here. Yeah, I think power is still the
yeah. I mean, it's going to be the most appropriate thing here for a bit.
So it's going to be 13 with a 6 under double. And 2d20. Yay!
Ooh,
4.
That's 4 successes. All right, let me get my roll in here. So I don't have a big skill for it, but I got 2, so that's 2 successes. So tell me how you drop 2 more of these guys with those 2 successes.
Okay, so I duck under one of them's blow, spinning around behind the guy, and then just reach up and do a really quick neck snap, and then I do a back kick into the guy's throat, crushing his larynx, and he falls down gurgling.
The last 2 are trying to push the bodies aside to get up on you to try and do this, but they can feel that the momentum of this fight is changing. They had 5 guys and now they only have 2, and they're realizing the stakes here. Ismina, you have knocked the gun out of the War Master's hands. Yes.
One question real quick. You said I had 2 extra momentum. Can I just throw those back in the pool? Or
no, that's how many people you killed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Ismina, how do you want to deal with the War Master? You are muted.
Oh, there you go. I think her instinct would be to restrain her in some way, but she doesn't know if she's too dangerous or if they're too dangerous to do that too.
There's only one way to find out.
But her yeah, I think that she wants to restrain her, but still restrain them, but leave them conscious enough to be dealt with. Like,
Yeah,
doesn't
so
want to kill them if at all
yeah.
possible.
So your defensive
So,
combat
yeah.
applies. Yeah.
Yeah, but that I think in her mind involves disabling limbs if at all possible. Like,
Let's have
just
you roll.
like when she's up that when Ismina is up that close, she wants to like be like, just, are you so sure, in response to them saying this isn't a dueling ground, and wants to get around behind and like kind of pull their arms in a really unnatural fashion that will dislocate shoulders.
Let's have you roll. This is
Okay.
definitely battle with your specialty in defensive combat.
Okay. And yeah, all right. With duty for defense, I assume.
Yes.
Ooh.
So that's 4
Wait,
successes.
so is yeah, my battle is 7.
Okay. I've only got 2. So there is that bit where you don't get a hold of both arms, but you get back behind, and there is that sound and that grunt, and the blade that she has in that arm like gives way, and then she like bodily shoves you backwards, and that arm's now dangling, and she takes this stance, and is coming at you, trying to follow up. She's going to try and get that blade into you before the pain gets to them. I will
Okay.
spend. So that was a 3. So I'll spend another one. I am going to roll to hit you with this roll.
All right.
So I've got 3 on you. I don't have a specialty. She's a warp field person.
Yeah. Can I, in my resist roll, can I use discipline?
Yeah,
Because I think that part of the way that
I would have thought you want to
she
use.
absorbs a blow, she's
You've got defensive combat with trying to.
right. Well, I thought part of the self-control is like being able to
Oh,
take
yeah.
a punch
Yeah,
/
yeah.
absorb. Yeah, so I
Perfect.
think that's her. Yeah. Yes. So I think I'm going to use discipline and duty. Arestia might be slightly outside of her comfort zone, but this is Mina's whole deal.
Perfect.
Oh, wait, that's just 2, right? Yeah.
There's 2. So that's 2 successes.
Yes.
So
yes. Wait. Oh man, they had
Yeah.
3.
So here's the thing is, she catches you with this blade. You have a battle of 7, which means effectively for this combat, you have a clock of 7. You're going to take 3 points off that clock as she comes across, and like she's only got one good arm, but she puts this blade through one of your arms, and gives you a slash, and blood starts coming out from that. And she kind of does the thing where she waves the blade, and the 2 of you are still facing each other now, both of you badly wounded. We'll come back to that in just 1 second. Hayden, now there's chemical spray and rainwater and stuff in the hall here, which we will say is going to be a trait that you can use to reduce the difficulty here.
I think Yeah, I think it's still going to be the same role. I like to mix it up a bit, but I'm just not.
Yeah, no, I think you're in the middle of a melee. Now, of course, you know, there's rainwater coming down. I think the
Okay.
shot, I think we might see your shirt come open, you know, depending on if it's on the WB or not, you know. So
Okay, so since there's only 2 of them left in the chemical spray, makes it a little bit easier. I'm going to go with battle this time as I close it up really short, and now my knife comes out to use the short blades focus, and I'll still stick with power because I'm just trying to take both of them out as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
perfect.
So that's 12 with 5 and under double. Oh, nope, I just fail. And I don't have any way to re-roll or anything because I already spent my determination.
So that is actually going to give you that failure. So it doesn't give them anything, but they are going to follow up. You may make your defend roll against them.
Okay. And is it going to be the same move since it's...
That feels fair.
Yeah, okay, so 12 and under.
So I've got 2 successes -1 for the trait. So I've got 1 success on you.
Go! Good Lord, this roller is not liking me. Yeah, that's complete failure with a complication.
Okay, so I think that they tag you. Your battle is a 5, so you take 1 point off of that. So you've got 4 left. And I think that when that blade hits, the wound, like you can feel it numbing. It's very
poison.
clearly a poison blade.
Ouch. Ugh. Not good.
But we'll come back to that in a second. Seraphina rushing up to the Dougal chambers. You hear alerts going off. You're running up. You're in that kind of that hallway up to that. You'll see the consorts there. And then the rain is coming down, and he's saying, "I heard over the comm. What's going on?"
We are. We have a traitor who has opened the shield wall. We have Zerat commandos on the attack. The Pericos Mentat is dead, assassinated before this started.
Come, I will get the heir to the Duke. You need to make sure that the Pericos Duke is safe and secure.
I will defend them with my life.
Okay, and he will grab the heir and start moving along for the ducal chambers. Do you want to head for Pericos, their guest wings?
Yes, I will head for Pericos. If I see any marshals, I'm going to pick them up.
Okay.
Or marshal, any marshal to me at any marshal rendezvous at 0.5. But yeah, I draw my needle.
Okay.
My needle gun, and I get there.
So yeah, okay. So you can hear the sound of gunfire going along in different places. That's happening. You have enough sense to know that whatever was going on, that some of the command and control of that is disrupted. Like maybe you guys push things faster. You've triggered things before. I mean, that body wasn't supposed to be found. The War Master wasn't supposed to be interrupted. There's all of that kind of thing. And I think that you will see the Swordmaster for Pericos standing out in front of the ducal rooms there. He's clearly moved everybody in there, and his blade is out when you come running up. And he points it at you and says, "What is going on?"
We have a traitor And we have House Zerat is attacking, backed by the Harkonnen distantly, and they are making a move for your Duke.
What is your role to convince him? Right now, he's set and solid and steady here. There's no reason to trust you. It's chaos all around.
My role is communication and duty and truth. No, I'll just go straight truth. I told him flat out. I didn't hold anything back. Communication and truth. And if rapport counts for understanding exactly those situations,
that feels right.
Then I'll do it. Do we have any momentum? Nope.
We do not.
Two successes. Thank God I used truth. Since I hit it, I nailed it. I rolled it exactly both times.
This roller is taunting you. I think that you see him nod. He nods and accepts your words, and he says, "I have the Duke and the main staff in here locked and protected. You can see to your own. I will stand guard here."
No, I will stand here with you.
And I think that's the point at which you hear over your comms Hayden go, "Oh, poison."
They're going to be using poison weapons. Be wary. I have a knife in one hand. I have a stunner in the other hand, and I'm waiting because they're coming.
Okay. Ismina, both of you bloodied, both of you hurt. Now, water in the room, kind of unpleasant. Tastes like oil and metal here. And the War Master says, "You can just walk away."
I think she kind of spits out some of that oil and mixing with the sweat and is just like, why? We were set up so well. We've just established here. What could they have given you? Zerat is lower than us now anyway.
There are other intangibles, other forces at play here. Other armies to lead.
I'm so sorry. I was hoping to lead ours with you. And she's going to just make another lunge to see if she can grab the other arm and slap it in the cuffs with the limp wrist arm.
Ooh. All right, let's have you make that roll.
Okay. Duty in battle. That's all I can think. And I've got.
I have no successes.
Oh,
look at that,
goodness.
2 18s. The roller has turned on me.
Okay. I think I'm just rolling 2 straight.
Got
Wait,
2.
is that
2 successes?
8 plus 7?
Yeah. So it's and is yeah, 2 successes for you. What does that look like when you get a hold of that? And I mean, you'll knock her out from the pain as you twist this other arm. But what do we see on screen happen here?
I think you see kind of like almost like a Wong Kar-wai rain, the rain in the room, and you see the splash of the shoes as she just kind of lunges around, and in the flick of that you see the War Master go, like as she was lunging kind of the other way, Ismina, as she passes by, you see that like she's got the cuff on one arm and then she just wrenches it around, and like the next time you see the camera lift up, the War Master is in the like in the puddle, growing puddle on the ground.
Yeah.
And Ismina is kneeling on top with her bleeding, but like doesn't look victorious, but just looks very determined.
Absolutely. I think we cut from that to Hayden. Hayden, can I feel your vision starting to give these last two, like they realize now they may have you. And they're kind of there's maybe a little bit of that slow motion as they're kind of pushing themselves up to get at you. Now we're a little bit more like the raid than anything else. From no elegance to the fight here. It's all in kind of brutal.
Life or death.
Let's have you make your roll.
Okay. Am I defending first or am I attacking?
I think you're attacking.
Okay. So yeah, it's just going to be blade and for battle and power again. So 12 with 5 and under doubles. Oh, come on, roller. No, this roller hates me now.
It
Still can't hit.
Still can't hit. And
is there any way that I could hear over the comp, like if he falls on the button, that I could bolster anything from a distance?
Like how would you what do you have that would be appropriate?
You need momentum to bolster.
Oh, I need momentum.
Or you could give me threat.
I'll make it more hard. I'll make it harder. As to point out, it's that Serafina at this point, having a chance to catch her breath, calls on the comm, Ismina, if you can hear this, I need you at the Pericos suite.
Ismina, do you want to bolster as you hear Hayden gasping as you hear the sound of poison?
Yeah, I think if it's like if I hear like death happening almost, if I hear poison, yeah, I'm going to can I as part of it like just be like grab your left pocket? Since she carries around the poison, I don't know, can I have given them both like little vials of some kind of antidote?
I don't think so, but I'll let you use the bolster to let Hayden reroll. If you want to give me those two. Now, they may use discipline, your 7 discipline, instead of 5 battle.
Yeah.
Hayden. So when you reroll, you're rolling it 2 higher.
Okay. So
I could be, maybe it's that I yell out like a particular breathing technique that helps you get through the pain or something.
Okay. So I'm rolling at 14 instead of,
Yeah, you're rolling at 14.
Okay.
And 7s or less are doubled.
Okay. All right. Well, he hears the voice on the other end, and I guess he steals himself a little bit and tries to push through the poison and tries to finish these last 2 off. Come on, roller. That'll give me
3 successes.
Three successes. I had 2 minus 1 for the trait that Serafina set up. So these 2 come at you, and they think they have you. How is it that they don't?
As they're both coming at me from directly opposite directions, I just drop to the ground almost in like a splits maneuver, and they crash into each other. and from the bottom, do I actually kill both of them, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so from the bottom, I actually just cut the femoral artery in both of their legs, and then roll backwards out of the mix of the bodies as they fall.
Absolutely. Serafina, give me the montage that we now see, sort of the slow-mo battle sequence. I'm going to go through with each of you to give me a little bit of the montage of your what you do in this fighting off of this Zerat attack. What do we see on screen? Tell me how you're awesome. Tell me what the like the key frames are for this. So Serafina, let's start with you. Like what do we see? You are there with the Paracos Swordmaster. There's still that water coming down, attackers coming. What do we see?
So here come the commandos. Serafina empties her needle gun at them, and takes a couple of them down. The first rush is the Swordsmaster, primarily Metzen. Serafina gets knocked against the wall. He cuts a couple of them down. The others pull back a moment for another rush. Serafina reaches into their equipment and scrabbles in their pockets for something. And Melak says, "What are you doing?" And she says, "If they're using poison, they'll have the antidote on them." And she comes up with a couple of injectors and flicks one to the Paracos War Master just as the next wave comes in, and then it's all knives and swords and a wooden stool from somewhere that gets grabbed up from the room and sent crashing into somebody's knees, and
Perfect. Yeah.
and so on.
Ismina, in this chaos now, the War Master is down, the traitor is down, their forces fighting. How do we see you like dealing with the situation, helping out, changing the tide of battle?
Yes, can she tell if Zelf is dead or not? I think she would go.
I don't think
his
he's
pulse real
dead. I
quick,
think
like,
he is drunk and badly wounded.
just unconscious. Okay. I think that you see her, she's not going to leave the War Master, even though restrained. I think you see her, I think you see a montage of like the doors of the ducal chamber like busting open, and as like a soaked bleeding as Mina drops the restrained War Master here and is like, "I'll be back," and then is like, "Don't let them get away," and just like leaves immediately and is running as fast as she can. You see her running and just like throwing elbows to anybody else on her way to get to where the Paracos chambers where Serafina had last called from, hoping that Hayden is still alive. And
cutting down
probably use
Zerat
your duck
attackers
to
on the
miss
way.
the stool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see her duck as the stool goes by, and then she knows that she's there. And
Perfect.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
you probably see her get to where they are, and they end up in some sort of like back-to-back situation where Millet and Serafina.
Absolutely. Tearing
So-
through there. What do we see, Hayden? How are you? Yeah, when you can get the antidote out of these guys' pockets, how are you turning the tide? What are you doing to like help this battle get resolved?
Okay. As soon as I inject myself with the antidote, I click on the comms and I say, "Thank you, Ismina. That was very helpful." I'm alive and I'm coming to you and I'm bringing as much help as I can. And what I do is, you see him running over to whatever guards that we have or whatever, and trying to rally them and get them to start providing a perimeter defense and having it fall back slowly, absorbing any attacks that are coming as we're like absorbing like kind of like a ring back towards the ducal headquarters. And I'm just going to be sitting there, trying to I guess inspire them a bit to protect House Anthier, for House Anthier.
Absolutely. More public in the face of people, not in the shadows, leading this. The guards listen, the guards follow. And I think, that ends up with you three, the guards, the marshals, the Paracor Swordsmaster, and like once you kind of got this settled, like moving out and finishing stragglers around in the halls here until the like popping sound of gunfire trails off and somebody turns those sprinklers off. And we just kind of get that dripping bodies in the hallway, blood running down clothing, the Zerat attack, the tide of that turned. The only traitor, the War Master, the consort, not guilty. The heir safe, brought there safely by Seraphina. Others are injured. Zelf is hurt. Will probably have to spend some time recovering and leaving Ismina in charge. But this will cement the budding friendship between Pericos and Anthier, the groundwork that Seraphina laid, and this battle, all three of you alongside to defend, like you came to defend Pericos, and that is noted. So
yeah, I
would-
think probably bloody as things are ending, like Ismina turns around and just kind of like gives some kind of like bow to Menlet or Mellet and is like, thank you.
Seraphina's sitting on the ground next to you, half out of it.
Oh gosh. Okay, yeah.
And
Would definitely
I
get her up.
I I can't let go of this thing. Oh, she's holding on to us. She's holding on to a stunner that one of the attackers dropped. Can you help get my hands off of this? They've all cramped up.
Yeah, I think Ismina is definitely working on hitting pressure points in your wrist and palms to help unleash it. Are you okay? Everyone was bloody and hurt.
I can't tell. Some of this is mine. The blood. I mean, and everything hurts. So maybe I'm not dead. I don't know how that happened. I don't. I'm not good at this.
I think the bodies in the hall say it's different.
Dan was just refusing to give up.
I think wincing as Ismina is helping you up.
Oh God! Oh fuck! Oh Jesus Christ!
All right, I want to cut sort of on that montage, that trippage of the three of you together in the sort of the painful afterglow of that. I'd like to move to epilogues here. Seraphina, what do we see of you in the immediate aftermath or down the road? What is it we're going to see on screen that tells us about where you are at mentally and what happens with you?
Seraphina is sitting in an office, which is nice and clean, but nothing, not fancy at all. And someone puts their head in and says, "Your Honor, they're ready." And Seraphina gets up, and you see, and you see that she has that she has an artificial hand. And the person helps her put a robe on. She says, "I'm still not used to this thing." And she moves into another chamber and gets up on a dais and sits down, and she nods to an official there, and she says, let him in for today. Let him in for today, Gorback. And he opens the door and he bangs on it and he says, "Petitioners for the law may enter and make their cases." And people, ordinary people from Sagnation file in, and one of them comes forward and says, "Your Honor, this is we've always had this piece of land here since my great-grandfather was here, and we don't have any papers to say that it belongs to us, but I think we should be allowed to build there." And the proceedings go on from there.
Hayden, what do we see for your epilogue? Where are you in the aftermath of all of this?
I think it'd be a scene on the streets of the capital city, probably walking down what's called different alleyways and stuff like that, and he's just keeping an eye on everything that's going on. It seems that the streets are a lot more peaceful than they used to be, and you'll see him coming up and talking to children every couple of blocks, and him handing out treats and coin and such, and just kind of, I don't know, he has a look of peace on him. It's kind of like he's come a little bit full circle. He's back on his home planet, and it's just scenes of him helping the small people where he can. People who would have turned out just like he did if House Anthir hadn't come along. So I think it'd be something along those lines.
That's perfect. That's perfect. We get that shot of you in a little more daylight than we've probably seen you before. And Ismina, what is your epilogue?
I think you see her in a training room with some younger students, but they look very varied. Like they're clearly not just all House Anthir people. And she's stepping them through, you see as she's ducking and like moving, you could tell that it's some of these like disarming moves. And as it kind of zooms out, I think you probably see the Perico sword master standing on the side of the room, and maybe one or two other people who seem like they're sword masters. And there's clearly been some kind of like either network established, or one of the things that House Anthir has become known for is this like not power through the blade, but power through defense, or power through like connection.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's kind of furthering this sense of like cooperation through like being willing to share some of these tactics. But yeah, afterwards there's a lot of good words exchanged, maybe instructors spar a little bit to show the kids. And then I think you see her nodding and leaving, and then typing on, you know, on the comms, communicating somehow. And she's like, are you sure this isn't gonna hurt really, really bad? And then you just see a reply that's like, if it didn't, more people would get them. And she's kind of like, oh, great. And I think you see her in a place where people get tattoos, and she is like trying to steel herself and nods. And I think Seraphina is at this tattoo shop. And Brandon, you could give her lines, but I think Ismina is like, she's going to get her first one with the like ducal permission. That means like a loyal or something like that, or like valorous. And it's like the beginning of a design that could extend. So yeah, but she's definitely called Seraphina for moral support, and has probably, Hayden probably knows that this is happening.
Nice.
Seraphina will hold her hand and says, I can't think of a better canvas for that mark.
And I think we'll fade to black on that scene. Camera pulls back. We see the skyline, the strange color of the vegetation of the sky, and we kind of pull back away from that. I think that's where we're going to stop.
Yeah.
That's our game. Thank you all so much. I would like some stars and wishes, thoughts, things you particularly liked, things like if I were going to run this again, what would you think? What are the things I need to set up for players, or other things I need to do? Just thoughts on that would help. Brandon, let me start with you. Stars. Let's just do the stars first.
Sure. Stars. The stars for the whole thing's come apart. You know, I really liked that, and much as Seraphina wanted to be just ahead of that curve, having it come apart just before we could do anything about it was very appropriate, and it was great. I loved Ismina's the War Master's treachery and Ismina's battle with him, and Ismina happening upon him as he's committing, basically, stumbling on him and kind of forcing his hand earlier is so very apropos. I loved Hayden with the kids after, and Ismina getting the tattoos and a lot of other things. And,
awesome. Harry, anything you want to point to, particularly stars wise?
Definitely have to give a star to Ismina, who saved me again in another fight. But it's wonderful role playing all around. I think Brandon did a great job of showing the after effects of a battle for your life, especially for a character that's not quite used to doing that. So I thought that was awesome. And yeah, I think the entire thing of it, us trying to figure it out, but it just blowing up in our face was pretty awesome. I just liked it all around. Stars for everybody.
Awesome. And Danielle?
Yeah. Stars for giving us like a mystery to solve, and also getting a twist in there. Like I did feel, like we kind of assumed early on the consort, and there had been, intimations with the red herring with the sister and the potential connections. But I loved that it really twisted around on us. And I thought that unfolding that well in the middle of like all the roles and complications and finding a way, that was really satisfying, and giving everybody urgency at the same time, and the threat of, the party is fully separated. Oh no, we could die. So yeah, I loved Seraphina's idea to turn the sprinklers on. That was such a
Yeah.
fun, like ambient thing to play with as well. I really thought Hayden could die, so thank you for letting me use a bolster remotely. I was really excited. And I just loved being able to face down the War Master one-on-one. All of the one-on-one battles have been so much fun, and I appreciate how you've helped us kind of play them so it doesn't feel just like combat, like it feels cinematic and it feels really fun to engage in. It doesn't just feel like roll damage, move on, etc. So yeah, and yeah, and also Seraphina's like at the end, and like my hand won't unclamp, and everybody's epilogues. I love that Seraphina's doing the justice thing in Saknagan after she set that up so well, and that Hayden is getting to connect with being like a real kiddo, like a real person after his whole thing throughout the whole series about like murder versus being a real person. Sorry if I'm breaking up here. But I loved seeing.
So let me come back around. Brandon, thoughts about ways to change this up, things you would have liked to have known, like at the start during character creation, any kind of, let's look at the thorns of the situation. Any thoughts on that?
The only thing that might have been helpful with character creation, which I think in the general was pretty straightforward, is that especially for a shorter scenario like this, and where you don't have people with exotic backgrounds like Bene Gesserits, there's some basically there's some good talents, and then there's some talents that you're unlikely to use.
Yeah.
And stripping those out of the list would make things easier. The character templates, I think, were very helpful, and especially with the focuses that they had there, because otherwise thinking up focuses is hard.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, once you're in the swing of it, then not so much. But at the beginning, it's too much like work. A little bitty determination / momentum / asset cheat sheet. You can use determination, to do this and this. You can use, momentum or threat to do this and this. Assets are temporary unless you spend a thing on them and then they become permanent, and then you can spend another thing on them to make them become permanent, and great. Nothing more really complicated than that. But just a real, because certain mechanics hit over and over and over again, and just being able to cast the eye on that would be really helpful, because most of the rest of them are intuitive, or they're explained as part of the text of a talent. So that's all.
Yeah. I'd say 100% agree with you on the talents thing. Certainly when I did Star Trek, about about 6 or 8 sessions in, I redid the talents and cut out a lot of the ones that just weren't getting used or didn't make sense. I think some of them are very contingent depending on how the GM is running the game and what's actually happening in the game. So yeah, I agree with you. Better maybe to pull out some of those, or mark some of them as these are really kind of like, these are always going to be useful. These talents here are ones that are almost always going to come into play. I think that's smart.
Yeah. And
Harry,
explaining, and one last thing, and part of the cheat sheet also, it wasn't clear to me what assets were for until a little ways in.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, an asset decreases the difficulty of a test where the asset's appropriate. Okay, then just the one line there on the cheat sheet would have save me a world of what does an asset do again?
Okay.
It
Yeah.
it might be difficult, but I almost wonder if it's like just a visual cycle type thing where it's like momentum here, determination here and here. Like, because for me it was more like at what point in the play
Yeah.
turn.
In the sequence of the
Yeah.
resolution.
Oh yeah, before you roll, after you roll.
It is a game that when you go to any particular role, there are a lot of steps involved with it and a lot of options. I think that's probably where this game has its most complication, is the fact that any particular role, has 7 or 8 steps to it. It's not just calculating a stat. There are a lot of choices there. Yeah. So maybe, something with a good visual representation of here's the role going through. Smart. Harry, thoughts on that?
The one little your cinematics save the combat, I think, because what I found was I'm wanting to change it up or whatever. I don't want to roll the same thing every single turn, but I guess I just have to get more creative with it or something. I mean, I don't know. It felt just, your cinematics are what saved it, because I was, rolling this the same roll each round.
Mm-hmm.
So figuring out a way to mix it up from round to round might take a little bit of the monotony out of the rolling system.
That's a good point.
It felt cheap to me personally to use the same thing over and over and over. I mean, and that's not the worst thing in the world, but it's just a little ding.
No, I think that's and weirdly enough, 7th Sea kind of would normally fall into that trap where it has that. But what it does is the first time in a scene you use a particular like skill pairing, you get an extra die. And if you use it again, you don't get that bonus. So like you're always trying to switch things up. So maybe something that could be fun to encourage that, or at least provide those options. So I think that's smart. Good point. Danielle?
I think that this system, it takes a while to warm up, but when it gets there, I really enjoy it. I think it's a system that really rewards that time put into it. And even now I feel like, yes, I finally hit my stride with these particular talents with this system. Now I feel like I know what's going on enough to really, play it again immediately. And I felt like that when I played Star Trek for one monthly season as well. So I think it almost is, determining in which system. I feel like the flavor and the style really depends, which talents, which focuses, which drives you do lean on, and you just can't know ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciated like the freedom to be able to switch things up, because I had another talent that I just was a few sessions in and I had never used even once. I had tried to use it and it didn't really work out. So I really appreciated the flexibility to be like, can I just switch this out? And I think and then the advancement letting us know like, okay, you can add another talent was great. Instead of having to keep track of advancements, that was really streamlined it, which helped. I think I definitely thought the templates were a great way to kind of get into it, but then they come with focuses. So I think I realized like afterwards, like, okay, this focus for battle, like other people have very specific ones, like Hayden had the dirty fighting, and I eventually changed the battle focus to the defensive one. So being like just letting him know like you can flavor your combat with this, kind of like how in Hearts of Wulin, really your weapon determines kind of the style of what you're doing. So if you have the style, then you can just put that in as a focus. I think that would be helpful to know. Otherwise I really enjoyed it, and good. I would hop in and play again. So thanks for the 2-month-long investment to get us all to this place.
It was good fun. I had a very good time. I appreciate everybody playing along. everything you said in terms of the system comments. I think things that I certainly in the back of my mind. So very much on the same page. Thank you all for doing this for the 2 months here. It was super fun. I'm going to stop the recording.